I feel like, man, whatever you do wrong must come back around in a circle. Just like you know what I'm talking about? If you did wrong and everybody know it's blatant, the truth is out in the open. You sent that type of energy towards the Young Dolph way, and you got no Young Dolph knocked off. I talked to Govan. I did an interview with Hernandez Govan, the dude who said the whole supposedly, you know what I'm saying, Dolph murder.
What's the first thing you plan to do?
Go hug my son.
Mr. Govan, you haven't smiled all this week, but obviously you have a lot to smile about. Just tell me just about what you're feeling in right now.
Like I said, it's kind of hard to explain the feeling of getting your life back.
Y'all, it looks like CMG is officially falling apart right in front of us. For years, people whispered about cracks in Yo Gotti's empire, but now those whispers have turned into full-blown alarms. Stan G, one of the most tapped-in voices coming out of Memphis, went on No Jumper and basically said out loud what everyone else has been too scared to say. Yo Gotti might actually take out his own artist, Blac Youngsta. This isn't coming from random trolls online. This is someone who's been face-to-face with the streets, someone who's interviewed the same people tied to Young Dolph's case. So if Stan G is saying this, it's not just drama, it's a serious warning. When Stan G sat down on No Jumper, he didn't hold anything back. He came right out and said it, the same energy Yo Gotti had for Young Dolph is what got Dolph killed. And if Gotti could go that far with an enemy, what makes anyone think he wouldn't do the same to someone in his own camp if things got messy? Stan G even went as far as to call Blac Youngsta a send-out, the guy Gotti would push to handle the reckless stuff, the street beefs, and the wild videos other rappers wouldn't even touch. At first, that role kept CMG buzzing, but now, with the Dolph case still hanging heavy, Stan G says that same position makes Youngsta look less like an asset and more like a liability. And in Yo Gotti's world, liabilities don't last long.
I put out a story, the other day I put out a story, Young Mob had ended up catching a Rico, you know what I'm talking about, and I put out a story. An hour later, the news ran the science.
The way fans saw it, this wasn't just some random history lesson. Stan G was putting out a straight-up warning. His message was clear: watch your back. He even reminded everyone that what you put out always comes back around. And right now, with the way Yo Gotti moves, Blac Youngsta's so-called loyalty might be the very thing that puts him in danger. Here's where things really start to look shaky. For a long time, CMG was on top. Yo Gotti had the roster everybody wanted. Moneybagg Yo was running it up. Blac Youngsta kept the label in headlines with his antics. And then Glorilla came in and blew up almost overnight. From the outside, they looked like one big family winning together, backing each other up, no problems in sight. But recently, that picture doesn't match anymore. Moneybagg's buzz has slowed down. Youngsta doesn't have the same energy. And Gotti, he seems focused only on Glorilla. But even she's under heavy pressure right now because she's the only one really carrying the label. Instead of family goals, it's starting to feel more like who's actually safe here.
Yeah, at this point, because you lost all the his last artist is Glorilla. She doing crazy because he putting a crazy bag behind Glorilla.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? So Glorilla, she gonna shine regardless right now. But when he go over there and dealing with them Texas boys, them folk got hit up. Them folk got hit up everywhere he go to, like the Fed watching. You know what I'm talking about? He signed that boy over there, that boy ended up going to jail. So they watching that boy so close.
Then Blac Youngsta started taking CMG out of his bio and posting captions that looked like straight up shots. And right after that, Stan G stepped in with his warning. That's when people stopped laughing it off as trolling. It started looking like something real was going on. Fans are noticing it too. CMG doesn't look tight like before. Every post looks shady, every move feels off, and all that talk about loyalty just doesn't hit the same anymore. And to really understand why things are so tense between Yo Gotti and Blac Youngsta, you have to look back at Young Dolph because that's where all of this started. Years ago, Gotti wanted to sign Dolph, but Dolph turned him down. From that moment, everything changed. Gotti didn't just move on, he started blocking Dolph, trying to slow down his career. But instead of stopping him, it only pushed Dolph to shine even more. That's when the beef turned deadly serious diss tracks, public shots, and real street tension came with it. And Blac Youngsta? He was right there on the front line. He wasn't just rapping, he was pulling up in neighborhoods, posting wild videos, and doing things most rappers wouldn't even dare to do.
The only reason I didn't do it, like I could have went over there and got with Gotti and got the co-signer and sped my whole process up. But at the same time, I couldn't do it because I had too much of my own money and too much of my own time invested into it. So it wouldn't have made sense for me. You see what I'm saying? And man, it's like, that's Memphis, bro. That town is too small. You know what I mean? Like, whatever, if anything, if he wanted to do something, I wanted to do something, bro, it's like, let's do it. That town is small. You know what I'm saying?
I'm glad to hear that.
It's It's just Memphis one of them cities like that. You know what I mean? Like, if you pay attention, it always been a artist out the city saying, I'm the king of Memphis, I'm the king of Memphis. That's why it done been so hard for other artists to pop out and take off, because everybody want to be that the big one is just me. You know what I mean?
At the time, people thought it was just part of Blac Youngsta's image, but looking back, it was way too reckless. Even Stan G called it federal moves, because Youngsta was putting himself in situations that could only bring heat back on him. So, when Young Dolph was killed in Memphis, all eyes went straight to CMG. Even though nothing was ever proven against Yo Gotti or Blac Youngsta, the streets had already made up their mind. And once people connect your name to something like that, it sticks forever. That's the shadow hanging over CMG right now. And it's also why Blac Youngsta doesn't look like an asset anymore. He looks like a reminder of something the label just can't escape. There was a time when Blac Youngsta was CMG's wild card. He was the one doing all the crazy stunts, clowning online, showing off stacks of cash, and keeping people talking about the label. Whenever Yo Gotti needed the energy turned up, Youngsta was right there. Fans saw him as loyal, the kind of artist who would ride for the team no matter what.
Y'all rich tell them bitch what it is, bro. Y'all fly niggas. Look, CMG big y'all rich niggas. Heavy count shit. Nah, I would never them broke ass. Like, shit. When I was broke, why would I them now they broke? It ain't my fault you broke. If you are playing on me, I'm telling my mom. Ooh, I'm pregnant. Ooh, my shoe just fell out. Ooh, my head just fell out. Ooh.
But Stan G didn't see it that way. In his eyes, Blac Youngsta wasn't just being loyal, he was being used. Stan G even called him one of the biggest sendouts in Memphis. Basically, he was saying Yo Gotti would send Youngsta to handle the risky moves and deal with the beefs he didn't want to touch himself. And if you really think about it, that matches exactly how things played out. Gotti played the calm boss role, staying clean and calculated, while Youngsta was the one wilding out on camera, taking all the heat, all the attention, and all the risks.
A long time. See, it's a long story behind Blac Youngsta. See, Blac Youngsta was hanging with one of Gotti enemies before he got with Gotti. Okay. So Blac Youngsta is somebody who just jump around for the money. He's just a send out. He one of the biggest send outs from Memphis. They just keep.
The problem is that kind of role doesn't last forever. After Young Dolph's death, those wild antics stopped looking funny and started looking dangerous. Instead of being CMG's spark, Blac Youngsta became the one carrying all the baggage. Every diss, every graveyard stunt, every reckless move, people tied it all to him. And now, he's gone quiet. Stan G even said he's in hide mode because the Dolph case is still hanging over him. To the streets, that makes him look finished. And to Yo Gotti, it makes him look like a liability, the type of person who could bring the wrong kind of attention at the worst possible time. This is where it gets really obvious something isn't right. Blac Youngsta has gone viral multiple times for taking CMG out of his bio and claiming he's independent. Every time, fans start speculating like crazy. Usually, he ends up back around Gotti like nothing happened. But this time, it feels different. Right after all the tension and with Stan G's warning hanging in the air, Youngsta started posting long rants. And these weren't random. He was calling out fake CEOs, fake big homies, and fake brothers, all titles people have used to describe Yo Gotti before. He even said he was done with fake love, fake loyalty, and putting trust in the wrong people. And honestly, if that's not a shot at Gotti, I don't know what is.
It's like this, cause bro, it's like, what if you so gangster, why the f you rap? Why you ain't out there kidding? You need to go do some murders, bro. You know what I'm saying? If you're a killer, go kill shit. You right here on this stage for, you know what I'm saying? So I look at it like, so many people want to be rappers. And so many people I ain't no rapper, I'm a street. You know what I'm saying? It's just so much bullshit. So I had to wonder to myself, like, what the f am I? You know what I'm saying? All these people be lying like, they this and they that. But what, I had to really think like, what am I? And I'm like, I'm not a rapper. Cause I like rapping, but I'm to my side, but I really like entertainment.
What really stood out was how emotional Blac Youngsta's posts were. He talked about losing friends, feeling alone, and knowing that he could be touched no matter how much money he had. And you guys, that doesn't sound like someone clowning around. That sounds like somebody who knows he's in danger. And the timing, way too perfect to ignore. Right when fans were already whispering about CMG falling apart, Youngsta himself was basically confirming that not everything is cool behind the scenes. Even though he never says Yo Gotti's name directly, everyone caught the message loud and clear. Now, here's the thing. Yo Gotti has always styled himself as a mob boss. Even his name comes from John Gotti, and he leans heavy into that image. So when Blac Youngsta called out fake CEOs, Gotti clapped back in his own way, dropping mafia-coded bars and using Jay-Z's Dynasty intro. It was his subtle way of flexing power, a reminder of who really calls the shots.
Well regarded. I mean, Sean Jay-Z Carter speaks very highly of him, right? I mean, Steve Stout speaks very highly of him. You know, I can't find a person that says anything bad about Yo Gotti, and they always say how smart you are, how focused you are, and a lot to get into about your business.
And that's what makes this even scarier. In a mob-style structure, breaking rank isn't just disrespect, it's betrayal. And betrayal, it never ends clean. If we're being real, everything between Blac Youngsta and Yo Gotti really started falling apart after Young Dolph's death. That's when the tension went from quiet whispers to something everyone could see. After Dolph was killed, the streets were already pointing fingers at CMG. And it didn't help that Yo Gotti's own brother Big Jook was picked up and questioned by police. And now, to make things even more chaotic, the alleged shooter Govan Hernandez, the man accused of taking Dolph out, was just acquitted.
The jury found the defendant Hernandez Govan not guilty in count 2 of the indictment.
It was said more than once as the 45-year-old was acquitted on both counts. Govan was unable to contain his excitement as he embraced his pro bono defense attorneys, but out of view were the supporters of Young Dolph who were hoping Lady Justice would tip in their...
The last thing Yo Gotti needed was somebody from his own camp trolling about it, but that's exactly what Blac Youngsta did. He dropped a video at a gravesite, standing next to a headstone with Young Dolph's last name on it. Then he kept posting wild stuff online, acting like he couldn't care less about what people thought or how it made CMG look. To Blac Youngsta, it was probably just him being himself reckless, loyal to CMG, and ready to ride no matter what. But to Yo Gotti, it was bad for business. Fans noticed the shift too. What once looked like loyalty now looked like recklessness, the kind of recklessness that could ruin the label. From there, the cracks between them became impossible to hide. And like I mentioned earlier, that CMG doesn't look as strong as before. Moneybag Yo's buzz slowed down. 42 Doug got caught up in legal trouble. Blac Youngsta went silent. Even Stan G said it himself, Gotti can't move the way he used to. There's too much heat on him after Dolph's death. Right now, the only star still holding weight at CMG is Glorilla. But one artist can't keep an empire together, and fans know it. Instead of wondering who's next to blow up, everyone's asking who's next to fall out. And this is where the fear for Blac Youngsta gets real. Y'all already know, Yo Gotti isn't just a rapper, he's connected. Stan G made it clear, Gotti has ties in high places. If he wants somebody's career over, it's over. If he wants legal problems for someone, that can happen too. So when Blac Youngsta shades Gotti online, it's not just rebellion, it's risky. Because in Gotti's world, being a liability isn't just about losing your spot on the label, it could mean losing everything. And let's be real, if Yo Gotti and Blac Youngsta really go to war, this won't just be music beef, this could get ugly fast. Gotti moves like the president of Memphis, he's got money, influence, and connections that reach way past the studio. If things turn violent, it won't just be rappers trading disses, families, friends, and entire crews could get caught in the crossfire. But on the flip side, Blac Youngsta isn't the type to just roll over. He's reckless, emotional, and unafraid to say exactly what's on his mind. That makes him unpredictable, and unpredictability mixed with Gotti's boss moves, that's a recipe for disaster. Fans are already bracing themselves. Nobody wants to see another tragedy like what happened with Young Dolph. But with Blac Youngsta calling out fake CEOs and Stan G literally warning that Gotti could turn on him, the writing on the wall is hard to ignore. If they don't fix this, CMG might not just lose an artist, it could lose its entire legacy. So the question isn't if CMG is falling apart, that's already clear. The real question is, how far will Yo Gotti go to keep control?